Hi, I'm Gary Jenkins, and this is going to be just a short video on how to paint a rose. It's not going to be a full painting. There's so much emphasis out there when I watch other artists doing roses, too much emphasis on composition. You need to learn how to paint the rose first and some leaves and how to present the rose to the viewers. Then you can get into all the composition and all of the variations of color and rhythm and all that stuff. But let's start at the beginning. And that is, how do I paint the rose? I see a lot of folks out there painting the rose, and they try to show every single petal, all these hard edges all over the place, and they lose the feeling, they lose that loving feeling of what a rose is all about. On this coming up, what I'm going to show you, it's not what you paint, it's what you don't paint. It's not what you paint, it's what you don't paint. And I'm going to show you what you don't paint, if that makes sense to you guys. So there is no reason why every single one of you out there watching can't do a beautiful rose. It's all in the approach. It's all in the brain. There's too many folks out there that are watching all these videos that are all making it look easy, and they sacrifice the quality and the feeling of the rose to make it look easy to you guys. Well, there's no free lunch. It takes practice. So again, I'm going to show you what not to do. I'm going to show you how to start this rose so that you end up being a winner. So let's get started. First of all, the canvas size I have here is a 14 by 18. It's on stretched canvas. And I'm going to start out, I was just going to do the rose for you guys, but I think I'll put the background in because a lot of you have been asking about the abstract backgrounds and how I do them. So I'm going to do that, show you how I approach it, and then we'll follow that up with our good old rose. Now I'm starting out with acrylic, which is a water-based paint, and on it goes, using water to help the paint flow along. Now you could use probably any color you might want. You could use purple, orange, all kinds of different colors just to start the painting going. Now I'm starting at the top. I'm going to kind of curve it down using a crisscross stroke. Sometimes I'm adding more water to it to thin it down. So it's kind of like a watercolor. And down it comes. Yeah. Now the area where the rose is going to be, you're going to want it nice and dark in here. So I'm going to bring this over. You notice I'm not using a large brush. A lot of folks use a sponge brush, which I suppose you could, but I like the smaller width because it lets me have a little more texture rather than big broad strokes going in. Keep it loose and free. Now I've got some burnt sienna down here. I'm going to add that. A little warm. I don't know if that shows up for you. A little warm note going in there. Now the outside edge is very important. This is the neutral white. We want to leave that there because it's really going to show off what we're doing inside. I got a squirt bottle here. I'm going to give it a squirt. And let her run. This is where the creativity comes in, because you're not in control of what's going on. Maybe a little more over here. It's very wet. Look how wet that is. Whoa. Sometimes you might just kind of scrub your paint in. We're going to be doing several layers here. I have a hair dryer I use, which we'll use to dry up this background so we can get back into it real fast. Now, I don't want any texture where I know there's a rose going right in here, so I don't want any lumps and bumps underneath it. More sienna. It's very, very wet, guys. Nice and dark. I like the dark. Nice contrasting colors. He might come out. Kind of indicate, well, hey, look at that. There's some leaves coming out of here. I have a rose garden, which I go out and I pick leaves just because it keeps you from painting the same thing over and over. Oh, look at that. Another one coming out of here. Now this might not even stay. Who knows? We'll see. Cool. Again, it's this neutral white that's so important. So I'm not going to fill the whole thing in. Just a little bit in here, and then let's give it a squirt. Sometimes you'll squirt above it and let the paint or the water run down, which gives you another effect. I'm going to bring that down because I want to anchor that dark black. This is acrylic again. Anchor that down there. So dark. Whoa. See if we get in there close. Look at all that stuff going on. Yowie. Okie dokie. Now what I'm going to do, I have a hair dryer that I use. Good old hair dryer. And I'm not going to do this now because it's very loud. So what I'll do is I'll stop right now, and then I'm going to dry this, and then I'm going to come back in on top still with the acrylic to get it more dense in here. Maybe we'll add some more color. I don't know. We're creating. We'll see what happens. I'll be back in a minute. Now I just finished drying off the painting. This was all acrylic, and now I'm going to go in and add some color to it. So I've got some yellow and some viridian green. I'll mix it together. I'm going to stick that right up in here, maybe a little more viridian. It's kind of dry, it's not too wet. And most people, when they put color on, they make everything in little squares. Think of it as curvy strokes, like smoke coming up, and just the wind is blowing and it's blowing that color around. So this is a little more water. A lot of folks they just won't let go. You have to let go, let things happen. This is where the creative process comes in. Look at that stroke. Push that brush around. You're really not in control of it completely, and you don't want to be. Here's a little yellow and white. Oh, look at that value, a lot. Very, very pale, very light. I'm going to give that a squirt with my good old trusty water bottle. Let it run. Remember, things don't happen right away. You have to be patient with this stuff. Here, this is mostly water. You can see it thinning down. This would be become behind the rose. A little value back in there. This is our lightest area right in here. I'm really going to punch that up to show you the contrast we are looking for. You can see how bright that is. Maybe a little more white. Really push it. Yeah. Maybe we'll take some yellow and cad red light, which makes an orange. And right in here. Let's get a little more cad red light, yellow, a little more red. Oh, yeah. Marry these two together. Let it come on down. It takes a while to wrap your head around this stuff, guys. And you have to really do a lot of these abstract paintings. Now, I got started by my daughter Heather Roddy, R-O-D-D-Y. You can look her up. She's an artist in San Diego. And she got me started on all this wonderful abstract stuff. And you can see, now I was doing some abstract before, but she kind of pushed me over the edge. It got me into all this wonderful color and movement. Now, what do people do when they look at your painting from across the room and maybe it's hanging in a gallery? The first thing they see is the color. All this wonderful color happening. Then they come in and say, oh, it's a rose painting. Okay. And then they love the color, they love the way the roses are done, and they buy it. That's the way it is. Now, when I started doing abstract work, I lost a lot of my audience out there. I even got emails from folks saying they didn't like this abstract stuff. They much prefer me doing the old fashions, which is nothing wrong with that. I did it for years. But if you want to get into the fine art galleries, they're looking more for stuff that's cutting edge. Cutting edge. Things that, whoa, let's get this. Whoa, whoa, yeah. My hand might be in the way sometimes. There may be something on there. They're looking for cutting edge paintings. Things that are out of the normal. Now, when you're dealing with this stuff, abstract realism we call it, you're only dealing with 5% of the population. 95% of the other folks, which is like more the traditional type of painting, which is nothing wrong with that, that's fine. But the fine art galleries are looking for things that are cutting edge. They're looking for a little abstract stuff. And the folks out there that buy these paintings, it's only in the 5%. And they're the ones that have the wherewithal to pay thousands of dollars for a painting. Yeah. Here I'm putting that red on top of the green, which complements green, of course. Oh boy, look at that red in there. It's just popping. This is what turns me on, is the color. Here I'm not even stroking it. I'm just kind of blending them together. Kind of give the eye a chance to rest a little bit from all of the strokey work going on in there. Kind of got a lot of cool stuff in there. Might clean this edge up a little. Now the abstract, the background is neutral color, the white, of course, which is over here. White, 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 white. Emphasizes what's going on in here. See, the outside edge of this is a design all in itself. So you want this light out here, but not. Sometimes I'll come in with dark on the top and bring it down into light. But you'll normally find me having a lot of white negative space. Let's spray that again. You never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates. Yeah. Little things, little teeny little strokes. Maybe we should break this area up a little. I'm going to set this up for runs. Sometimes the runs need a little help. I know, look at that. We have the best of both worlds. We have a watercolor effect by thinning the acrylics down. We can go in a little more opaque to get a little thicker. I'm going to bring that white up. Now, sometimes you'll spend more time messing with the background than you will with the actual rose painting. A little more yellow. Oh, yeah, look at the yellow. Maybe they'll come up. Can you see a little, just getting a feeling of nature. We're going to be painting roses in here, and we want it to look like a rose garden. Whoa. You see that stem I just put in? It ties right in with that. So it gives us a nice curve. My hand, I know my hand's in the way, but it can't be helped. And now we're going to hook something just kind of there. Yeah. Maybe a little black and sienna. There's that wonderful S-curve. I always use an S-curve. Look at the curve. See it? Which adds movement to our painting. So we have that, and we have that going across. Well, you see that stem? I'm going to put a little dark and kind of tie right into that. Yes. Not too much. Since this isn't a background painting, it's a rose painting. Yeah, well, it's supposed to be. You never know. I'm going to take more of that red. So we're going to be adding more stuff. Oh, my daughter gave me some, if I can find it over here, some fluorescent colors. Let's see if I can get some of that out. She sent this to me in the mail. Well, I'm trying to open it up, but it's, there it goes. Let's see if I can get anything out of this. I'm going to squeeze it out on my palette. Now what I'm going to do is take some of this, kind of an orangey red, on my finger. Whoa! You see, this is a fluorescent color. Look at it go on. I found it doesn't work if you put it on with a brush. Either a knife or your finger. So bring it on down. Bring it on down. Let's see if I can get some. These bottles have been, I'm trying to get the top off it. See if I can get some yellow going here. Looks like I might be able to get something. I'm going to squeeze it on my palette. Excuse me for a moment. Okay, it looks like, oh, I got a little out of it. Oh, there it goes. All right, let's take some of this on my finger. on my finger, and just kind of pat it in. Adds a little texture. And all this is going in before the roses. And the roses are just going to be what makes the painting. And these, the color we're putting in, this is just our backup singers. This is the backup. A little more of that red. I want, oh yeah, see? So in a gallery, when it's in there under the lights, this color really pops. So rather than bringing it straight down, I'm going to start curving it over. And then see how it kind of comes around. So it's color that's dancing. Dancing. We're Fred Astaire. Look at it coming around. We're doing stuff that normally people don't do. This is stuff that makes these paintings sell. Now go to Ken Rowe. That's Ken Rowe. That's Rowe is spelled R-O-W-E. Ken Rowe Gallery. Just Google it. A page will come up, and then click on Ken Rowe Gallery again, and you'll be able to see my paintings. Not all of them are on there. It shows some of them that have sold, but they don't have all of them that have sold. And you get a feeling of other stuff I'm doing. Oh, yeah. Now remember, we don't want to overwork it. But I really like doing this stuff. Yeah. Oh, look at that blending with the yellow. Okay, I think we probably will stop with this. You know the old saying that there are no accidents, just happy accidents. What a bunch of BS that is. Oh boy, just don't buy into that stuff, guys. And there's no free lunch. You want to learn to do this stuff? It takes practice. You play this video over and over and over and over and practice, 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 put it on, wipe it down, do it again, do it again. It's all in the head. It's all in your mind. It's all in how you look at things. We're not looking, we don't live in the real world. This is not the real world. We're painting stuff that doesn't exist. We're painting fantasy. People are buying fantasy. They're buying color. And this is what they want to hang on their walls. I can see the rose going in right in here, maybe some buds coming in, maybe some wildflowers. I don't know. That's what, because if you didn't know, it wouldn't work. If you didn't know, if you absolutely knew what the result's going to be, then every painting you do, you would get the same result, and you don't. Then you're not growing. I want to grow. I want each painting to teach me something I didn't know before. Yes, it has that same feeling because that's your style. Just like you have a signature. That's all your own. It's your own signature. Painting, that style will find you. A lot of folks say, "Well, I want to paint this style." This will give you a place to start. And then your own style will work into it. You can't keep your own style out. It will find you. Don't go running after it. It'll find you. All you need to do is practice. Now what I'm going to do now, before we do the roses, I'm going to dry this and see. I'll take a peek at it. Take a look at the video. Make sure everything's working for you guys. And then I'm going to dry it with my hair dryer, and then we'll start in with the prima donna, the rose. Okie dokie, let's get started with our rose right in this area right in here. And I'm working from a photograph. I have hundreds of photos. This one we're going to be using this guy right here. And let's get started. Now, I have linseed on here, a thin coat of linseed oil that will help my paint to flow along the canvas. Okay, now I've taken some black, ivory black and white, mixed up a gray, and then I put a little cad red light with it, which will just warm it up a bit. I'm going to start right in here, test that color. It looks like it needs to be a little darker, so I'll put a little more black, a little more cad red light, and a little darker. You never know. You have to get up here and play around with this stuff. Remember, there's linseed on here. So on it goes. So I'm putting the shadow in first. So all I'm interested in here is the outside edge of the rose. There's some petals that are drooping down. This is why drawing is so important, guys. You need to be able to draw the thing before you can paint it. I'm going to take a little more black, cad red light. You're constantly adjusting the darks, cad red light, black. I'm going to get a little darker. There it is. Right in here. I want that to go into shadow. And we'll get a little of that dark up in here. This is important. The base tone is so important that you put in. You can see how the outside edge now, it kind of resembles a rose. We're going to take some alizarin crimson and cad red light and put that right in the middle and kind of brush that out. You can use your finger. Now you can see it already has a feeling. Aha, there's that magic word again. A feeling of a rose. Okay. Now I'm just using the photo as a guide. Just as a guide. I'm not going to paint every single petal, and I'll show you how you do that. This is alizarin crimson. Kind of dry, so it's a little bit thicker. Might find a little dark back there. Now, this part right here is so important because it's sitting there waiting for the highlights. So we're going to take some white. Now our white is titanium white. It's very dry. Oh boy, look at that pop. Some places you're going to push down hard. Some places I'm just using the bottom edge of the brush so I get these, see these little skinny, very thin strokes going in. So by using just the bottom of the brush, I can push down and make it thicker, wider, or thinner. See? Okie dokie. Look at it go in. Now I am painting not every single petal. I'm giving the illusion that there's a lot of petals, but I'm not actually painting. Oh boy, every petal. Look at that go in. You see how I'm hitting that? Look at that. I want light coming in here. We're painting light. Some of that light is, oh, there's that side of the brush. That foreshortened edge. Here's where people mess up. That's on this back side. They try to show every single petal and that back side comes out. You want that back to recede. So the value is rather very dark, very dark. Though some places it'll catch a little light here and there. You see how fast this went in? Yeah. Over 50 years of experience fast. There it goes. Now when you reach this point, I want a feeling of that light coming in, maybe a little touch of yellow with the white. You can't see it, but there's some yellow in there. It's the strokes. Watch that brush. I kind of come down and wiggle and come up and just tuck it in. Let there be light. Yeah. This side, very light stroke because I want that to go into shadow. But I see some light hitting. Oh, it's this little subtle stuff, guys, that makes your flower. I just wipe the brush because I want to blend. Or use your finger. Yes. Yeah, there's the bottom of that brush again. I'm giving the illusion. I'm not actually painting it's just an illusion. You must have mystery in your painting. And that's where the light comes in. Now, we're going to exaggerate the light. I'm going to really push it in there. Look at it go. Watch the contour. It goes around. Yeah. We're painting that loving feeling again. Now, again, there's no free lunch, guys. I know you're out there watching going, oh boy, that looks easy. Well, it's not. It takes a lot of practice. I'm not on here to sell you any brushes, paint, though I went through all that in my television days. I don't do that anymore. I want you to learn how to paint these guys. I want you to be the best you can be. I'll be doing more of these down the line. And if you hit that subscribe button, I'd appreciate it, because that helps me make more of these for you. That dark color again, maybe. Sometimes you lose your darks and you have to go back in. Put them back in. I know. You try to do this and you crash and you burn, and you will. Everything that looks easy isn't. I mean, that's for quality work. There's a lot of junk out there, so be careful. People think they're painting roses and they're just painting a poor copy of a photograph. They might as well just have the photograph and get on with it, rather than trying to show every single petal. I'm taking cad red light and white, very dry. I'm going to pick, just very subtle. Can you see? Look at the brush twisting and turning. You fade some petals out. Let them go. Fade them out. Now we're painting what we know. I want those edges to be so soft that they just float into nothing. Remember, I have linseed oil in here. Sometimes when you're learning to do roses, you might want to take your palette paper and tape it to a canvas and practice your roses on there. That way you're not burning up a lot of canvas. I use, by the way, I got to show you my paint. It's a color, it's a company called, it's made by Gamblin. It's called 1980. You can find it on, you Google Dick Blick and them putting gambling. It's 1980. They make the best colors at the most reasonable price, because paint, as you know, has gotten so expensive. Look at that little light going in. Again, it's a feeling. That's all this stuff is, guys, just a feeling. I have another, I'll reach over here, find another photo of a rose. This one's really dark, isn't it? A lot of crimson, it looks like. Or I might use, I've got several photos. Yeah. Many times I'll get a cup of coffee and go through, I must have like 2,000 photos of flowers that, and you can hold it up and see if that's what you want to put in there. I'm going to take a little blue, blue, ultramarine blue, yellow. I'm going to overlap that flower just to put it into the painting, and so it's not just hanging around on the outside. Maybe we'll come in here. I'm going to have a stem going in, little blue, little yellow. Cutting, oh yes, cutting in front of that flower. Maybe there's some stuff coming off. Just play around. Take all the photos you can, guys, of real flowers. I'm going to take some, what is that? Phthalo green, but it looks dark when it comes out of the tube. Boy, look at that stem coming up there. I'm going to highlight that. This would be a great painting. You know, I love to put hummers in, or butterflies. Because every painting needs to tell a story. So that's why I put hummingbirds in. There's a lighter value, a little more yellow. I like to put hummers in, not only because there's so many people out there that they love hummingbirds, and they collect paintings of hummers. So in they go. I am very fortunate to have a great gallery representing me. Road Gallery here in Sedona in the Tlaquepaque Shopping Center. So look up the Ken Rowe Gallery. Rowe is spelled R-O-W-E. Just Google it, and when the page comes up, you'll have to hit the gallery again, the gallery page, and then click on my name. You'll see my stuff. Look at that little red going in there. Yeah. What was that? Something just flipped in front there. Okie dokie. Oh, I see. It's my mic cord. All right. Little red. Let's see that little hot shot. Cad red light and yellow. See these little spots of color? Oh, so important, guys. The first thing people see when they look at your painting, what do they see? Color. Then they go, oh, look at, that's a rose. It's beautiful. Maybe we will take yellow and white, and maybe yellow, a little more white. As your painting dries, you can add more white, because the white has a tendency to sink in. Leave some texture in there. But when you come over into the areas where you have the middle tone, there's no texture. We want to just kind of lose that edge back there. But maybe sometimes light will say, hey, light will hit back here. Light, very subtle stuff. People pick up on this when they look at your paintings. It's this quality, it's this again, I can't get away from that word, feeling. Curve. Everybody wants to paint everything straight. Let's get those curves going. So we get this S, look at there it is, S curve. All right. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to look for some photographs and put in maybe, right, remember there's linseed on here. I'll put another rose up in here, and then we'll start building the painting out with buds. Who knows? I don't know. We're just going to play with this and see, let the painting talk to us. Let the painting tell us what it needs. It will. And don't try to do it all in one sitting. Sit, have some coffee, tea, whatever, and look and see. Let the painting talk. It'll tell you. Look at your photos. Don't play it safe. That'll get you no place. Playing it safe, we leave that for the other people doing all those other styles. Oh, look at that white. I'm going to go in. This is negative space. Negative space. Look at the light shining out. Ooh, yes, yes. So we're repeating the light that's up here, back in here. Bam, look at that. Yeah, let the brush dance like Fred Astaire. Look at it go. What fun. What fun. If you guys just learn, don't take yourself so seriously, but watch what I'm doing. Watch what I'm doing. Look at that stuff. That's stuff. It's just junk in there. Very dry. Let the brush dance in there. Do 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 do. Yeah. I usually play music, mainly Frank Sinatra, but I can't do it because of copyright stuff. Anyway, I'm going to look at this painting and come back and we'll put some more stuff in. I'll be right back.